Right, 7 steps to financial freedom. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how it doesn't matter how much or how little you earn, doesn't matter if you're employed, you own your own business, everybody can, with 7 simple steps, achieve financial freedom. But first of all, I'm going to show you a little clip. Give me a second, try that again. Leah's worked. Okay, well, right, I'll tell you what, I did have something prepared instead of this, so we'll come back to this. Let's do this instead. Yes, this month marks 10 years of Alan Littler in our lives. So today, I'm going to channel for you Alan Littler. Alan Littler, this is your Engage Web life. This is Alan right now. We'll start at the beginning, shall we? I don't even know what you were doing there.
No, me either.
How we met Alan. Most of you will know that Engage Web certainly owes some of its success to a company called BNI. For those who don't know, that's Business Networking International. It's a US organisation, and myself and Darren have both been members for many years. But you probably didn't know that we got Alan through BNI as well, thanks to one of our clients, my insurance guy, Paul Murray, previously known as PMIS. In 2013, we were recruiting for a content editor. And Paul Murray said, well, there's a guy who works with my wife in the doctor's surgery, and he's always telling people how they should spell right. So I reckon he'd be good at that job. So there was Alan criticising all the staff in the doctor's surgery, and they decided to get rid. And on the 13th of January 2014, there was a meek little knock at the door on the office in Stanlow Abbey, which I answered, and yes, you heard me correctly, meek knock, because Alan used to be quite timid. Look how young he looks, young and innocent. Alan, the early years. Since his early days at Engage Web, Alan has always organised us, and if there was nothing available to organise us, he would do it himself. This is Alan on one of his first team building days. This is Alan's first team photo for the website. And in Alan's cover letter, which went to Darren, I believe, because all the job apps went via Darren's email back then, Alan said he could help Engage Web maintain high standards of quality in a friendly and professional manner. And I would say he certainly has. So on the 13th of January, we had 11 candidates come into the office and do their spelling and grammar test with Richard Bell. Then they had a phone interview, I think, and then their final face-to-face interview was with myself and John. These are some of Alan's results. How do we prefer to structure our life and our time? Alan was all on the left. You'll have all taken this. Alan's spelling and grammar test, for those of you who did yours, 38 out of 40. We will notice, and he's very proud of this, that he spotted a mistake of ours in the actual test. And he wrote at the bottom, wasn't sure if this was a hidden test. There it is. He also took his typing test, which still hasn't beaten me, Alan. That bottle of Prosecco is still there for you if you ever beat me. But I'm afraid Alan did not get the job. I'm afraid we turned little Alan down and we appointed somebody else instead. He was in the final 2 though. And apparently Alan was in the queue at the job centre when I phoned him and said, I'm really sorry, Alan, that you didn't get that job, but we have another role that we think would be better suited for your organisational skills. It's fair to say Alan has worn many hats over his time here. He applied for the role of the content editor. The job he was given was the account executive role. Within 3 months, Bal had decided that he was bored and would be good in the bookkeeper role. So it wasn't very long before we moved him into doing finances as well. He pretty much became our general office manager, and in 2020 was appointed our operations manager. But they aren't the only hats that Alan has worn. No, you might know Alan as Health and Safety Alan, wearing similar, or First Aid Alan. Or maybe you remember him as Of course, Alan is also known as the office's cookie monster, and he's also a bit of a chocoholic. He's also known as Bert of Bert and Ernie, to which he once asked me, "Who's who?" And I said, "Well, Alan, one of them's tall and thin and the other one's short and not. Which do you think you are?" And, oh, I don't know how that got in there. So speaking of chocolate, probably Alan's best known chocoholic. This is Alan on one of his favourite one-to-ones. Alan eating more chocolate. He loves Easter. Easter's coming up. It's fair to say you've got to guard your chocolate if you're going to work here. But what is Alan's favourite chocolate? Well, in 2015, his favourite chocolate was Maltesers. But when he updated it in 22, his favourite chocolate was Maltesers. And he still can't spell Maltesers. So to celebrate Alan's love of Maltesers, for Emily, we have Maltesers. Catch. Maltesers, a special lactose-free vegetarian Maltesers for Emily. So please enjoy your snacks during the rest of the presentation, because this is Alan right now. Team building with Alan over the years. This is Alan's bad form according to Darren, but he's only jealous because that's excellent form. More hats. It was on a team building day that we found out Alan's nickname at high school was Adolf Littler. He gets very serious and competitive at team building days, and he also gets pretty bloody cocky. But we love him really. Christmas with Alan. Christmas with Alan is when you're going to see the downside of Alan. Until you give him a little bit of chocolate, that is, or his cookie monster. But after a few drinks at the Christmas do, Alan looks very different. Alan, you'll be pleased to know that I am bringing this to a close. Can I ask you all please to raise your glasses? Cheers, Alan.
Cheers, Alan.
Thank you for everything so far, and could you please come up here to get your 10-year gift? I couldn't give it to you without a little bit of chocolate. This is so you can take some time off. There you go. Round of applause, please, for Alan. Did you have any final words, Alan? Before I get off this stage and I'll leave you alone.
Well, I've had some notice about this.
It's pretty hard to see everything past you.
But yeah, some people don't get 10 years for committing serious crimes. I'm still here with a sort of smile on my face, despite everything that's been thrown at me, including 3 CRM migrations. But I come and see you lovely lot every day, so why would I go anywhere else?
Thank you. Right, let's have some pizza, shall we?